Just earlier this week, the long-awaited Elizabeth Line finally opened for passenger service. Plagued with delays, cost overruns, and the likes, it is a huge accomplishment to finally see it in service. The purpose of this new line is to relieve congestion off of the London Underground's Central Line and provide people with a quicker way to go through the centre of London. The line has been in planning for decades, going all the way back to the 1940s, where there were proposals for an underground railway tunnel crossing London. Over the years, the proposals were modified and new ones were created, and in 2001, Cross London Rail Links developed the Crossrail scheme. In 2008, the construction of Crossrail was approved, and the DFT, or Department for Transportation, had signed the Crossrail Sponsors Agreement. It was estimated to cost over £15 billion, but majorly increased over time up to over £18 billion. Construction began on the project in 2009, and the boring of all of the railway tunnels under London were completed in June 2015. A scheduled 2018 opening year was established, and it seemed like everything was going to plan. However, numerous delays occurred, which led to the line being opened almost 4 years after the scheduled opening date. Seems like London took a bit of inspiration from New York, eh? On Tuesday, May 24th, 2022, the line opened to the public. Unfortunately, even with the full line being open to the public, it won't be in full operation. Currently, the line will operate at a frequency of 12 trains per hour and only between certain sections, meaning passengers will not yet have a one-seat ride from, let's say, Shenfield to Reading. Services will run as follows: from both Heathrow and Reading to Paddington, Paddington to Abbey Wood, and Liverpool Street to Shenfield. Throughout 2022, the Elizabeth Line will be operating this service pattern while also skipping Bond Street, which is a little bit behind with its construction. It also won't be running on Sundays, and they will use that downtime to fix any bugs with signaling and stuff like that. Many expect the behind schedule Bond Street to open later in the year, maybe around September, and by May 2023, the full timetable will be in place, with trains running straight through from Abbey Wood and Shenfield to Reading and Heathrow at a higher 24 trains per hour throughout the entire week. Now, a common misconception of this line is that it is a new underground line, but that is not the case. While it does have some of the qualities of an underground line, it is a part of the National Rail network, meaning it is actually more similar to the London Overground rather than the Underground. Many transit networks around the world have been creating these types of regional rail type lines in their respective cities, like Montreal with the REM, New York with the Interborough Express, and of course, London with the London Overground and Elizabeth Line. These lines tend to have many of the qualities of a traditional subway line, like more standing room, doors, and faster acceleration for more start and stop operations. There is one key difference though. These lines tend to have trains that are capable of operating along the same right of way as commuter rail trains, allowing for a little more flexibility with interlining. To be honest, the Elizabeth Line is what I hope the MTA takes inspiration from for the construction of the new Interborough Express line. The rolling stock, stations, and more are all high quality, and it would be great to have something similar on the MTA's network. Anyways, say hello to London's newest rail line, which will greatly improve travel times across London and relieve some of the congestion on lines like the Central. It seems like this is a good year for London and its transport network, as even though TfL is currently experiencing some issues with funding, many projects are being completed, like the Northern Line extension to Battersea Power Station, the capacity upgrades at Bank on the Northern Line, and the Elizabeth Line as a whole. Before we end off, I would like to thank Cool Transport and for allowing me to use their Elizabeth Line footage for the purpose of this video. And if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more content on London and other projects like this in the future, like, subscribe, and consider becoming a channel member. I reckon his name's
Once fails.
And a storm the castle.
As far as you know, just yourself. Bus? Right, bus? Should we sit all over me? Sure, so I carry straight. How many stops do we have to find? No, let's all walk down this end first. And then we are going to be a nuisance, but it doesn't matter. No. Wait till the unless you like kind of